Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Now, the New World developers have released a new dev video for the January update, and on the screen now is the video. I will put it in a link to the full video in the description. You can find it on the New World website on the forums, but I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to find it. It's on YouTube on their channel, but the link to it's on their website. But basically, what they're talking about is what's to come in the January update and the current issues and all that stuff. And this video, what I'm going to do, guys, is kind of give you the key points so you don't have to watch all 37 minutes of the video. So as you can see on the screen, is they're going over the mutators. So this is the expedition mutators, and what you can see on the screen. So you've got normal or regular, normal, intermediate, hard, elite. So those are the four levels, four difficulty levels that is going to be introduced with the mutated expeditions. And you've got these different weekly mutations. So you've got Hellfire, Censored 2, and you see these curses are going to have different effects to them. So Censored 2 has blowback fire. Using abilities depletes a global affliction. When the affliction is depleted, the zone is cast on all players, which silences players in an area. After affliction expires, the zones detonate, dealing fire damage to players in the radius. Then it's got a truncated perk to it, where while silence zones are active, all players lose natural mana regeneration. Standing in the silent zones grants a large amount of mana regeneration. So there's going to be things popping up all over the place in these elite ones. Bear in mind, there is an elite one selected at the moment. So if you've just played a normal one, it's going to be probably a little bit dumbed down than this. But yeah, this is pretty exciting stuff. So let's just have a little listen to what they got to say about this.
Is that, you know, we released the first set of mutators, right? There's a rotation that they go through.
Okay, so there's going to be like a rotation of mutators. So if you didn't know, they explain this in the dev blog. Each, I think it's week, they're going to be weekly mutators. They're going to change. So as you can see, there'll be different buffs. So we just looked over those perks. Well, one of them perks like debuffs in the dungeons. Those are going to change on a weekly basis. So as you can see on the screen, these are just key things that are going to be introduced. So mutated expedition. Mutators change the familiar by augmenting normal and named enemies found when within expeditions, changing the way encounters play out and what strategies players should consider before battle. And as combat changes, so do the rewards. So obviously, higher the difficulty, better rewards. Weekly mutation. Yeah, so as I was saying, the system is intended to rotate through a unique combination of expeditions and mutations each week, with 10 difficulty levels per expedition mutation. So what I'm getting from that is there's going to be regular, obviously doesn't change. Then you got normal, harder than elite. There was another one. Am I missing? I'm probably missing some. I'm probably missing one of them. But there was like multiple of each, wasn't there, when we were looking at it just then? So it's going to be very so it could be 10 like random ones. Some could be normal, some could be hard, some could be elite. There might be more elite ones one week than normal ones, maybe. I don't know. And then it also has a recommended gear score next to each one, so you can see if you've got the right gear for the expedition. So that should help you guys out when you're looking to join it. So let's see what more they've got to say.
So those will change every week and bring new challenges, and the dungeons that are being mutated will change. So it's a way to sort of increase the challenge of expeditions and also sort of continue to add variety over time as we sort of shuffle the schedule and shuffle which expeditions are being mutated.
Nice. Mike, is there anything that might not be considered a main feature like mutators that we should still be excited about coming in January?
Yeah, absolutely. So because, mutators are being released, we want players to be able to get to those locations quicker. So we've added 6 additional spirit shrines throughout Eternum.
Right. Yep.
So a lot of those are going to be
they mention
co-located next to
I'll just pause the video there. Again, I'll put a full link to the video if you want to watch it full. I'm not going to play the full video on this video because I want to keep it kind of brief. I'm just going to cover over the main points in this video. So this is another main thing that's come in is obviously the fast travel points. They're going to be adding more of them, and they're also going to be lowering the cost of them. So I think what they said was I think they're lowering the cost of them overall. But also, if your faction owns the territory, it's going to be free. So obviously, not everybody will have the luxury of having free ones. But if you're on a server where your faction's dominating, then you're going to have a lot of cheap traveling. So yeah, that's something really cool. So yeah. All right, so now they're talking about the Umbral shards, which is going to be what you're going to be needing instead of gypsums to level your gear past level 600 expertise or gear score. So this is what they're covering over. They're going to show you a glimpse of it.
This one's for you, Dave. So why did we decide to introduce a new resource instead of just increasing the gear score? I know a lot of people are talking about that.
Yeah, that's a great question, and that sort of gets to the second main feature we released here, which is the Umbral upgrade system. So players will be upgrading their gear via Umbral materials, and we did that rather than just sort of introduce gear that goes to 625 organically in the world, and that we didn't want to invalidate all the gear that people.
So I'm just going to pause it there. I'm sorry if you were listening to that. So that's what the Umbral shards look like. They're kind of like ruby-looking things, red crystal type things. And it looks like you can just right-click and upgrade by the looks of it. It doesn't appear to be a station, which is kind of interesting. So yeah.
People have acquired already, right? So people that have acquired their really cool 600 legendary, or even now we've announced the 590 cool gear, can use Umbral to upgrade. So they can sort of continue to invest in what they've acquired already and sort of build the power of that, rather than have to go out and get completely new gear. So I think it's
right. So that clarified something that we probably didn't know beforehand. So, well, I didn't quite know it anyway, but just for people that didn't understand that. So the Umbral shards are not they don't mean you have to go out and get a new piece of gear. You can enhance the gear that you've already got. Okay, so if you've already got like a 600 gear score legendary, you can put Umbral shards on it and increase the gear score of that existing, and it'll power it up, basically. So you don't have to go out and get a completely new set of gear. And yeah, so that's kind of what they're getting at here, is the Umbral shards are just a way for you to just enhance your gear, and just make it more powerful, basically.
sort of a cool new pattern, and it creates another cool resource that players can get through, mainly mutators, but also through the gypsum casts and crafting. So we're trying to integrate a lot of different ways to get this resource into the game.
Is it going to affect the expertise?
Wait a minute. 200 Umbral shards just for one gypsum. Really? I don't know if that seems quite a lot, right? But maybe you need quite a lot to upgrade stuff. Who knows? So it looks like you craft gypsum orbs, and then when you open a gypsum orb, you're going to be getting when you open a gypsum cast, so you make the orb, you create a cast for a specific item, then you open that, then that's going to give you an item along with Umbral shards. So that's how you're going to be able to obtain Umbral shards. I don't know if there's any other way of obtaining Umbral shards. Let's have a listen.
System at all?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So expertise we're raising the cap of expertise to 625, and we're sort of integrating the expertise and gypsum together. So as you use gypsum to increase your gear after 600, each point upgrade that you get will also increase your expertise. So that's how you'll increase your expertise past 600. Previous to 600, it'll be the current means, the gypsum cast, the bumps you get in the world, things like that. But after that, it'll be the Umbral system.
Okay, awesome. And I know a lot.
Yeah, so that's what we already knew. So gypsum cast to get it to level 600. After that, it's the Umbral shards to get them past 600. So that's pretty good. Right, now this is a really interesting question that they're talking about here. They're talking about tuning orbs, okay? Now, Greg has just asked, why have they chosen to keep the orb system for the mutated expedition? So let's see what they've got to say about that.
A lot of people have been talking about this next question, so of course I'm going to give it to you, Mike.
Oh, yay, me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Why did we decide to rely on tuning orbs for mutated expeditions as well?
So we needed a method of control of access, basically because we want to make the rewards very valuable to players. So we want to make sure that your time investment is equal to the reward that you're going after. So that was the initial impetus.
I'll just pause it there. I know you were listening to what he was saying, but look at the tick. So after you complete each one, it's going to tick there. And it looks like it tells you the minimum players, mutated orbs, and stuff like that. And it says recommended gear score at the top there, so you can see your recommended gear score at the top. So it's quite an interesting thing. I'll give my thoughts on this after we've covered the key points, okay?
For that system. So in January, we're going to allow players to also purchase them in the faction shop and craft them. And so that's one of the bigger differences. And we're going to monitor through the PTR and play sessions, like what is that rate? Does it need to, increase or decrease based upon play patterns?
Right. That is huge. I am so glad Amazon just said that. I am so glad, and I expect a lot of people will be glad about that. Expedition orbs are going to be in the faction shop in this update. Or did they say next update? They said either this update or next update. Did he say this update? Hold on.
We decide to rely on tuning orbs for mutate
going after. So that was the initial impetus for that system. So in January, we're going to allow players to also purchase them in the faction shop. And
yeah, so in this update, they are going to allow us to purchase them from the faction shop, the expedition orbs. So that is huge. That is huge. That means that we can farm faction rep to get expedition orbs instead of having to craft them, which is very time consuming. So that is really, really good. So that is good news overall. I think everyone wanted that. I just wish they removed the cooldown now. I really do. I just wish they removed the cooldown so that you can do them more than once a day. But faction shop is still a step closer to what we want, right? Okay, let's have a listen. So just to touch on the expedition orbs being in the faction shop.
And something else to note is that we're going to make the vanilla expeditions, those keys available in the faction shop as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good. So it means all the expedition keys will be orbs will be available in the faction shop. So Amarin, Starstone, is it? Starstone, all of them from the lower levels right up to the end game is all going to be in the faction shop. So that is a really good change. So yeah. All right, guys. So those were the key features that obviously is going to be in the January update. So I'll just give my opinions on what we've just heard based on everything. First of all, the change to put the expedition orbs into the faction shop is an absolute great change. I think they needed to do something like that because everyone was getting a bit frustrated about obtaining the orbs. And I think they'll just be a lot more accessible now, and I think that'll be really good. Do I think they could have done things a little bit differently? I don't know. I'm still not convinced the cooldowns should be in place for the crafted ones. But I don't know what sort of cooldowns are going to be in place for the faction shop either. Are we only going to be able to buy one a day from the faction shop, or is it going to let us buy multiple of them from the faction shop? We don't know that yet. We don't know those details. I guess we won't know until it comes out, or unless we go on the PTR. So that's going to be really cool. I think the Mutator Dungeons expeditions is going to be really good. I think we're going to see a lot of challenges to be faced. I think you're going to need pretty good gear score if you're going to want to go in on Epic. And I think it's going to require a lot of teamwork to defeat them. Yeah, I think we're going to get some awesome rewards from there, hopefully, anyway. So yeah, I think the update was good. Going to the fast travel ones, adding more fast travel points and reducing the cost. I think that was much needed. You know, I think Azoth is used so much around, and since we can only carry 1,000 on us, they had to do something to ease it a bit. They either had to increase the amount of Azoth we could carry, or ease it a bit on the cost inside, and they've chosen to ease it a bit on the cost inside, which is good. And they're also going to be adding more fast travel points, which is only a good thing, right? So that's really good. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. But overall, there's not too many new features in January, but as I say, the main feature is obviously the mutated expeditions, and I think they'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, I guess what we will have to look out for in the notes that come out for the patch is what bug fixes and balances that get attached to this patch as well, because obviously they haven't gone into those details in this video, but yeah. But anyway, guys, I'll leave the link to the video in the description of this video, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Please hit that like button and that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. See you next time, guys. Goodbye.